Hello there! My name is Violeta. Hello, my beautiful angels, starseeds, and dreamers. Listen, I got a message yesterday on a walk in the park. I experienced something in the park, and Spirit told me, this is for the collective. Pay attention. And so now I'm here to relay the message. So I was walking in the park, right? And there are these main roads and main alleyways where people walk their dogs, and they walk with their kids, etc. Um, and at some point, I saw a sort of detour, kind of like a path that went who knows where. And I never gone there, and I was like, let's try that. Let's try that, shall we? What's the worst that can happen? Anyway, and so I go left, and it's around these stone structures, and I'm like, okay, this is okay so far. And then, albeit a little bit weird and creepy because I'm the only one there, and it's starting to go into the forest. It's starting to go into the trees. And I'm like, oh, this is nice because it reminds me of my childhood, and these tree trunks and the branches, and I just have to bend a little bit under this branch and go around a little bit around this bush, and the path's getting smaller and smaller, but it's okay. There's a path. I can go around the obstacles. It's fine. I'm gonna be fine, right? And then I started really going into it, like into the wild. And so it's like I have to go around so many things, and I have to overcome so many obstacles, and at some point, right? And it's getting ridiculous, right? And it's obvious it doesn't lead anywhere, but there's still a path, right? And I'm like, I've come so far. I'm not gonna stop now. I'm gonna be stubborn, and I'm gonna, do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna see where this goes. And then it starts getting slopey. It starts getting dangerous. It starts getting really, really difficult to go through and to go forward. And I'm like, okay, anytime now there's going to be a dead end, right? And I even slipped I even slipped, and I was like, okay, Violeta, listen, this is getting dangerous, right? This is getting actually dangerous to your health. You're gonna fall, you're gonna break something. It's obviously not a path you want to go down on, right? And so I finally went back and actually found the path back to the main paths, and back to civilization and out of the dangerous brush of time. No, I'm just kidding. Listen, this is a message from Spirit because it was telling me, and now it's telling you too, that sometimes you're gonna take a detour, right, into a situation, connection, like place where you're not quite sure, and there's obstacles, but you're like, I can fix this, I can keep going, and you're gonna be stubborn, and you're gonna be like, I'm gonna work on this, and you want to see where it goes, damn it. So you keep going, and the more time you invest in it, the more you're like, no, I'm not going to stop now. I'm going to figure this out because I'm smart enough, I'm strong enough, I'm capable enough. But there will come a point in the situation, in this connection, whatever it is, where you're going to feel unsafe. You probably already feel unsafe, and you feel like it's dangerous. Something is endangering your life, your health, your sanity. And so how much longer are you going to do this just to find where it goes? Just because you've invested time, just because you're stubborn, just because you want to work it out, just because whatever your reasoning in it is. And listen, it's just not worth it when it comes to your safety, Spirit is saying. If you feel unsafe, if it feels dangerous, it's time to leave. It's time to exit the situation, okay? Your health is the most important. Your sanity is the most important. Your heart is the most important. Your safety is the most important. Your happiness is the most important. Are you hearing me? And so whatever kind of sticky, weird situation you're in that you're trying to make it work, please think about yourself. Think about what you're doing. Think about whether it's worth it to feel so unsafe, and decide once and for all, listen, is this for me? Is this truly for me, or am I being just stubborn and just going by default? Like, is it time to exit the situation? Is it time to exit? Spirit really wants you to ask this question, and I'm getting another message. This time I was at the beach. I don't know why these messages are connected, but let's figure out, shall we? I was at the beach. I was looking on at the water, and there were these two birds who were together. You know, apart from all the other birds, the birds were really close and they were friendish. You know, they were friends, yeah. And so the wind started blowing really strongly to the right, and all the waves and the birds started going with the, you know, with the flow, you know, going with wherever the water was taking them. However, one of the birds was going along happily. The other bird was like really freaking out and trying to backpedal and like stay where it was. And the first bird was like, you know, just going along with the flow, and finally it just flew away, right? It flew off happily into the whatever, into its happiness, into its freedom. It didn't resist. It just went with the flow. It was happy enough to go to the right, you know, whatever there was there. And the other bird, however, was very resistant. The other bird was like waddling and backpedaling and trying to go back and against and just like to the left and refusing to go with the flow, right? Refusing. And so I think you're the bird that just was happy to go with the flow and flew away. And the other bird was someone in your life who refused to go with you because they were too comfortable where they were and they were afraid of change. And so they really resisted this pull that was trying to take them in that direction, and they just stayed. They kept looking to the distance as though they were missing their friend, but they stayed where they are. It was funny because even when the wind changed to the left, the birds started resisting again and kind of staying in the same place or just trying to go to the right. And it never took flight. The interesting thing is, I looked around the beach and the people and the, you know, the scenery. And at some point, maybe 5 minutes later or 2 minutes later, I just looked at where the bird was and it was gone, right? It was gone. And I was like, well, I wonder where that bird went. Probably back to its friends or somewhere in the air or left, right. I don't know. I don't know where it went. I don't know what decision that person is going to make. Whoever is in your life and is resistant to change. And then a little bit later, I looked around again and then when I looked at the same spot in the water, there was the bird again, and maybe it was another bird, I don't know, but it was just there again. So that message was kind of weird because Spirit again told me this is a message for the collective. And as I understood it, you were happy to go with the flow into your happiness, into your freedom, into all the good things, right? Where the wind kind of took you, you weren't resisting. And then the person who was resisting, they stayed where they were very stubbornly for a long time. And they were even like willing to go the other way just so they could resist the pull. And wherever the wind blew, they were just not happy with being told where to go or being forced or being pushed or being pulled. They just stubbornly resisted the flow. They were controlling. And so this person, you're not going to see where they go. And every time you look at them, it's going to be like they're in the same space. It's like they never left. It's like they stayed where they were while you just went somewhere else. And I don't know how this is going to turn out for you. But Spirit is saying you did the right thing in going with the flow. You did the right thing in looking for your happiness, for your freedom, and detaching from that situation that was just keeping you stuck, I'm hearing. It was right to leave that person behind, okay? In case you left someone recently or detached from a situation or something like that, Spirit is saying that was the right thing to do. That's your confirmation, okay? And I have a strange feeling that those two messages, 1111, as I'm saying this, that those two messages are somehow connected. It's almost like you were trying at first into whatever kind of situation you were in, you were really trying to make it work and to make it make sense and to make it work and to see where it goes. You even, like, you were willing to take chances and to compromise and to work and to you were really how do I say this, persistent in the beginning of this situation. But then at some point the wind blew. At some point you felt unsafe, and also the wind blew, right? And so when you felt unsafe, you detached from the situation, from the person, and you went along with the flow. You found your freedom and detached from the situation that kept you stuck, that kept you 12, 21, as I'm saying this, that kept you stuck, that kept you in the same place, that kept you unhappy, really. And so you managed to free yourself by going with the flow, by not being so controlling, and by not trying to make something work at any cost. You know what I mean? Like, you put yourself first. That's the message. You put yourself first and listen to your intuition. Listen to the, to the wisdom of nature, really, of the wisdom around you and within you. And I'm so happy for you that you did that. That was the right thing to do. And Spirit's saying, well done, you. Well done, you. Don't worry about the other person who you left behind, whether it's like a family member, a friend, a lover. Don't worry about them. I feel like those are the same situation. You were trying to make something work with someone. But don't worry about this person, because they're just going to find their way, right? They're going to figure out what to do, whether they want to stay in the same place, or whether they want to go and search for you, or whether they want to go back to the other birds, or whatever they decide. That's their free will. That's their choice. As you made your choice, your path was to flow, to fly away and find your freedom out of this sticky situation. And their choice is yet to be made, and you're not supposed to know what this choice is. That's what I'm getting really strongly. At this moment in time, you're not supposed to know what their choice is. And it really doesn't matter, because it's not your path. It's not your thing. You're focusing on you and your life and your relationships, and this person is focusing on, whatever they're doing. And so, I have a feeling that if this is a love interest or a friend or a situationship or whatever, it's time to separate and go your separate ways and figure out your lives before you ever try to, make anything work again, if you ever do. again. Like Spirit is saying, it might come around again or it might not. Don't think about it. Don't even, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because you have found your happiness and your freedom, and this person will find theirs eventually, and that's all that matters. So yeah, that's the message today. Hopefully it resonates. Let me know in the comments, like, subscribe, all those nice things. And yeah, I hope that helps. And I'll see you in the next message. Bye.